Right before the fight that everyone has been waiting for, UFC 289, Amanda Nunes had made a huge life announcement. But will this unexpected announcement affect the fight, or will it simply up the stakes? Considering this news may affect the future of the Lioness's career, you may want to pay attention to this one. Here's everything you need to know about the major life announcement Amanda Nunes made ahead of UFC 289. First off, before we get into the epic news from Nunes herself, we have to talk about the fight, because this matchup is one that people have been really looking forward to seeing. Although seeing anyone against the Lioness herself is really all the same. I mean, we all expect her to win, don't we? Anyway, who's she up against this time? UFC 289 is the third time Amanda Nunes and Irene Aldana face one another in the arena. The fight is going down on June 10th in the Roger Arena, Vancouver. But wait, did you know that there was actually a bit of confusion surrounding this matchup earlier this year? Yeah, in fact, most people didn't even think that Aldana would be a participant. Confused?
Irene Aldana coming forward. Duke still here, covering up. Aldana switching out, going to the body, right hand. Duke is wilted, it is done. Irene Aldana stops Jessamine Duke in the first round.
Let me explain. Since Amanda Nunes is the current two-time champion and current UFC Women's Featherweight champion, and Juliana Pena is the former champion, everyone assumed that these two would meet again to headline UFC 289, like the matchup that actually ended up happening. These two would have been meeting for the third time. The first time was at UFC 269, and if you watched it back then, you'll remember why it caused so much upset. In the second round, Pena won the title by submission. It was an ending that made the entire stadium divided, but this wasn't their only time meeting. The second time they fought was at UFC 277, and this time, Nunes regained the title. It was a unanimous decision, but still, it left a lot of fans itching for more. After that, they were also the head coaches for the 30th season of The Ultimate Fighter. So really, everyone was expecting to see the two meet again for UFC 289, and it was actually going to happen until Pena had to pull out of the fight due to broken ribs. So that just left Nunes without a partner. But who else could create the same amount of hype when paired with her? The only reasonable answer was Irene Aldana. And so that's who ended up replacing Pena. Honestly, it was a pretty good replacement. Aldana has also faced off with Nunes once or twice, and the demand for them to face off for a third time has been there since the beginning. So really, the decision was easily made. Now that the lineup was finalized, there was nothing that could stand in the way of the fight happening, right? Well, that's what everyone thought, until Nunes, the Lioness herself, made a major life announcement. With weeks left to wait for the actual fight, the surprising announcement left some people wondering if the news would affect the fight, or possibly alter the course of her career moving forward. What is this explosive news I keep referring to? Well, in order for you to fully get it, I need to explain a few things first. Like, let's talk about Amanda Nunes, because her career is pretty extraordinary. Like I said before, she's the current UFC Women's Featherweight champion, and also a two-time UFC Women's Bantamweight champion. She's ranked #1 in the UFC Women's pound-for-pound rankings. Not to mention, she's widely acknowledged as the greatest female mixed martial artist of all time.
Nunes now trying to crush the jaw of McMahon here. Doesn't have it under the chin just yet.
There's the tap!
Oh, there it is!
Amanda Nunes has done it! A huge win for the Brazilian tonight in Nashville.
All this and more has been achieved in her career so far. But there's another thing you should know about her. She's actually the first openly gay UFC champion to date. I know, crazy, right? It's kind of surreal to think that even in the year 2023, there's only one UFC champion who's out as queer. Anyway, when this news broke, it made history. She never really made it a secret that she was a lesbian. And this is what makes her story even more extraordinary, because throughout all her wins and all her losses, she worked her way up to the top, becoming a UFC champion while everyone already knew she was queer. And in the world of UFC fighting, it's not the most widely accepted orientation. I mean, it's not like everyone is openly hateful in the community, but the world of sports is definitely more closed-minded. So for her to be openly gay while also dominating every fight she entered was incredible. This success eventually made her the first queer UFC champion, and in doing so, she paved the way for future queer athletes to have the same success. success, which is honestly so inspiring. And another thing that you should know about Nunes is that she's actually married. Yeah, I know, right? She's married to former UFC fighter Nina Nunes, formerly Nina Ansaroff, and the two seem to be really happy together, which is just really great to see. But anyway, in recent years, the two of them have actually begun to start a family together. They welcomed their first child, a daughter, in September 2020. Her name is Reagan Ann Nunes, and the couple share cute pictures of her and their family on their personal Instagram. It's really nice to see someone so loved in the UFC world have such a peaceful personal life, right? Anyway, let's talk about the real reason you're here. You want to know what the major life announcement Nunes made was? Well, I'm here to tell you. A few weeks ago, Amanda Nunes took to her Instagram to share a shocking and exciting message with her fans, friends, and family. She announced that she and her wife Nina are expecting their second child. Isn't that insane? Yep, it seems that the Nunes family is already expanding, which is honestly just incredible news. Like I said, it's nice to see your favorite athletes thriving in their personal lives. But this does raise another question. Will Amanda Nunes pull out of the upcoming fight? Since she's expecting a new daughter on the way, many assumed that this would mean she'd be leaving the UFC scene for a while. But with this fight already announced and scheduled, it doesn't leave much room for any rearranging. So, will she be withdrawing? Nope! Lucky for fans looking forward to the fight, Nunes and Aldana are still going to wreak havoc on one another when the time comes. But how could this be? Well, let me explain it to you. It's pretty simple, really. Since Nunes is with a woman, they had to have a sperm donor to have their first child. And that's exactly what they're doing this time around too. Through the process of in vitro fertilization, Nunes' partner Nina was able to get pregnant. So there you have it. Since Nunes is obviously not the one getting pregnant, she can continue to fight. But still, it does make you wonder. Since the couple are starting a family together, does this mean that Nunes will want to step down from the UFC soon? It could be possible, especially considering how much she's achieved in her career already. She's 34, and most UFC fighters tend to retire around age 35 to 40. This could mean that within the next few years, Nunes could eventually retire, and it wouldn't be a complete loss. At the end of the day, she's one of the most successful UFC champions of all time, and her list of achievements isn't short. So really, retiring sooner rather than later could be for the best. She would get to retire during a really good time in her career. She would leave her countless fans with a satisfying end to her long and successful journey, and would finally get to settle down with her family. But all this is merely just speculation. We have no clue whether Amanda Nunes is going to decide to step down from fighting. All we know is that the next fight is officially still on, so you can look forward to seeing Nunes face off against one of her most popular opponents. But after that, who knows? We can't say for sure whether she's going to retire or not without her officially announcing it, that is. So until there's an announcement, just enjoy the incredible and successful career she's had thus far. Plus, cheer her on during her next match in June. Overall, fans are pretty happy for her right now. I mean, who wouldn't be, honestly? Anyway, that was the major announcement Amanda Nunes just made ahead of UFC 289.